So I've arrived here at Whalley Abbey. As you can see on the sides, they've still got some of the old walls that would have gone round originally. This possibly would have been another gatehouse, as you can see in the middle though there. It's been removed. Some kind of effigy, what would have been there. Got the big old doors, I don't know how original they are, they look like it. Right, let's get our bearings now and figure out where the actual ruins are. So behind that building there is just where I've just come from, you just last seen me. That's one of the original chapels that was on this site. Now this is the Tudor courtyard. Now obviously that building there that you see in front of me wouldn't have been there at the time that this was built. Work started here by the Cistercian monks in 1296. We'll just get through here. You're going to have to excuse me today if the sound's not perfect. It's a very bad weather. Very bad day for the weather today. But even still, I can get it done. So I've now just entered the kitchen part of the abbey. And as you can see, only the walls are unfortunately left of the building now. The kitchen area. On there you can see, it looks like that possibly could be where one of the ovens were. It looks like the brickwork is burnt. And here comes the terrible weather again. Let's get into the main body of it. Sorry. Right, so here we go. Now as you can see, there isn't a great deal left of the interior of the building. Some of the walls are left and things like that. Some of these would have been the separate rooms. I'll show you a bit more detail of those in a moment. You can see a little archway there, maybe a stream or some kind of river would have passed through there originally. Let's get to the parts over here. Weather's just made a very bad turn for the worse. Oh, nearly slipped. So, as I said there's a little archway there. And there's also one there, which looks like it possibly could have been the original bridge into the building. See if we can get a better view of that so you can see what I'm talking about. Oh, unfortunately I think they blocked it off actually. Oh no, we might be able to have a little look. Oh, they have, yes, but it does look like that could have been the original entranceway through there, and then they've put a piece of stone on it now, and then you would have come through, you would have walked through there on the other side of that column and come through into the main body of the abbey there. But we'll get a bit more information on some of these plaques here now. So as I say, that was the abbot's kitchen and the long gallery. Just gives a bit of information there. Now the reason that this abbey is in such a poor state is due to the famous Henry VIII Reformation. Now there was a great rebellion in the north when the Reformation happened, and the guy that was the abbot of this place, John Pasley, I think that's how you're supposed to say his name, he was the abbot at this abbey. Just before I get onto that actually, I'm going to show you. So as I said, some of these buildings in the centre part here, there's not much left of them, but you can see there where the original staircase would have been, and it would have gone up. There's a few like that in this little outside piece. Let's get to the next bit. Yeah, so John refused to be part of the Reformation. He kept his Catholic beliefs, and for that he was persecuted for it. Now Henry VIII ordered him, and I think it may be possibly two or three other monks that was here at the time, to be taken to Lancaster and executed. They believed in the beliefs that much that they refused to change to the Protestant Church of England. And this was the result of that. Now just before I carry on, I am just going to show you. So obviously a lot of the brickwork's missing, and what I could find online was that after the Reformation, that building there just behind that tree, the man that bought this land, Robert de Lacy, he took the bricks and built that with it there. Now that is used for conferences and that kind of thing as far as I can gather. I'm going to try and get in there, but possibly not, so I'll give you the information now. This one says that it was the day stairs. what that is, I couldn't tell you 100%. There's another little entranceway there that goes through. This is the lavatorium. There's a bit more information about that over there in a sec. But look at these here. The amount of detail that was on some of these archways. I'm going to get to this one here now. So obviously over the time and the age, the weather's weared it away, but you can see where the original designs were. What they're supposed to be, I'm not 100%. That one possibly looks like a rose, but whether it is or not, I'm not 100%. But it goes through all the way on the archway there. Such a shame that something like this, when I get to the top part in a minute, you'll see the actual size of what it would have looked like, and for it to just be destroyed. Let's get to the top up here. Oh, that area there would have been the original bookshelves for the monks that lived here. Let's make sure there's no water on the lens. No, we're alright. You can probably see how bad the weather is, but so the cloisters and the lavatorium is what we're looking at right now. Now it says an interesting thing in here that I never knew before, that the monks would have washed in here before the meals, obviously, but there was also sand and whetstones for the monks to sharpen their eating knives. Salt was too expensive, so they would have used like herbs and that kind of thing to wash themselves with. I suppose it's quite fitting that this weather's so bad on a day like this for the disaster that happened to the place. You can see the stones on the floor there, they possibly would have been the pillars. I'm going to read the information, there's a board over there, I'm going to read the information about this part that you're looking at now. It's a fascinating, I think this is the only one in the country that's left. But I'll get to that now and I'll read the information for you so you get a good idea what I'm talking about. I can't remember the name of them, that's why I'm going to have to just go and have a look. But you can see here they've got some details left on some of the things. You can see a bit there. That maybe even be a tomb for somebody underneath there. But we'll get to the bit of information over here. But you can see over there, it still spreads quite far. Would have been a huge abbey originally. See the gatehouse there that I walked through before. There's a cafe there and anything like that now, so you can get yourself a drink and stuff. So it says on the information that I'm reading here that this church originally would have took 70 years to complete, and then all because Henry VIII wanted a few new wives, it got destroyed. Well, that wasn't the only reason. I think a lot of people wanted change at that point in history, but so that was the thing I was just saying there. So those choir pits are stone lined trenches which added resonance to the singing. They're believed to be the only surviving choir pits in Britain. And in 2012 those stone slabs were put on top to try and preserve them a bit better. Let's get down here. I think a lot of people seem to forget how talented the monks were. They didn't just sit here and pray all day. They would write manuscripts, they would copy them, they would draw beautiful art inside them. As I just said there with those choir pits, they were obviously very intelligent and they knew what they was doing. To make the sound even better, they would dig down like that. It's incredible to think. And if you go to places like Rosslyn Chapel in Scotland, if anybody who's heard of that, the stonework in there represents musical notes. There's actually a video on YouTube where someone does that and they copy it. I'll put that into the description actually so you can have a look at that. It's a fascinating video. Oh, the weather's getting even worse now. I'll go through this bit here into the middle. Such a shame though to see a beautiful building like this in such a state of disrepair. Obviously you might not be able to get the grand standard as what I am here of the size it would have been, but even still. So I think I'm going to make my way out now. There is a gatehouse on the way out next to the viaduct, which I'll show you as well. But I'll get to that in a moment. I'll get my way out of here now. Try to stop myself from falling over. So I've just realised on my way out that I made a slight mistake when I said the person who bought this land. It was actually Richard Asherton of Lever, which is near Bolton. And he bought the property to use the stone to build this private house, what is here now. I think that is obviously the original part where you can see the stone, you can see the difference to this newer style stone here. I just thought I'd clear that up. And as I said, there's a cafe over there now and a little courtyard to park your car and have a look round. And then there's the conference rooms up there. As I was leaving, one of the ladies in the cafe gave me this booklet. So I just thought I'd show you the actual size of what it would have looked like in its original state. You can see with the courtyard there how big it would have actually been. It's absolutely massive. Oh, that was the Abbey at Whalley. Now on my way out I just thought I'd show you the gatehouse as well, which is this in front of me here. Oh, actually before we get onto that, just show you this impressive piece of architecture here. The viaduct. The train track goes across the top of there now. Anyway, let's get back to the gatehouse. So this originally was 2 levels. Obviously now you can't get into the 2nd level. There's not much left of it really. There's no roof or anything like that. But this originally would have been used by the priests and the monks and whoever lived here to meet the poor people when they were to give them food and help and that kind of thing. And it also would have stopped anyone like invasion or battles and things like that. Stop them here before they actually get to the abbey. Let's give you a little view of it. Oh mate. Here we've got a little gateway to get to the courtyard around it. It's locked but you can't get through there, but yeah, so this is the road that goes through it now. Maybe that would have been a way to the top there, that little doorway. We've got a little archway here. I'll give you a little view from this side.